Welcome to Glowing Success. My name is Heidi and I am your host. This podcast is for beauty entrepreneurs. Join me weekly as we dive into the beauty industry's ins and outs, from business strategies, top-selling services, and taboo topics. I will be interviewing industry leaders with empowering stories and game-changing insights. Let's illuminate your path to success together. Let's jump into this next episode. Welcome back to Glowing Success. I am so excited for my interview today. So if you are thinking about or already in the spray tanning world, this is the episode for you. I am going to be introducing you guys to Elsie. She owns Custom Airbrush Tanning Salon, and she's going to be giving a lot of information about herself, her tanning salon, and just everything that you want to dive into when it comes to opening up or having a successful tanning salon. So without further ado, welcome, Elsie.
Hi, how are ya?
Thank you for being on today. I'm so excited to
Yeah,
have our
absolutely.
chat, and I think it's going to be really fun for anybody that's in the spray tanning or the tanning world, because
Yeah.
there's so much to dive into with that. But for the listeners or anybody that doesn't know you, can you give a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have been a part of the tanning industry probably since 2010. I started out at a salon that I partially co-owned out that had beds. But I was always really interested in spray tanning. I went to school originally to vet school, realized I don't like animals that much, went into med device. So I went to school for a lot of chemistry and that kind of thing. And so I traveled a lot for work. And what I noticed other cities had was traveling spray tanners. And so they would come to your hotel room, and I just thought that was the coolest thing. And so as a young 22-year-old, I was like, this is what we need in Minneapolis. So that's what I started doing. So I opened up Custom Airbrush Tan. I knew nothing about spray tanning when I opened it up. Just was like, I can figure this out. This isn't even a problem. And so I have been in business since 2011. And we started out strictly as mobile, and then we kind of realized that it's a lot of work to just do mobile. And so I opened a location in 2012. So yeah, we're right in Minneapolis. We still do on the go as well, but most of my business is clients that come to us.
I think that's amazing. Honestly, like you said, going mobile sometimes is so it's so much work. Like, people don't realize, because you got to go through traffic, you got to go bring all your supplies places, and then, snow and all the things. So, but I like that you guys still offer that. It's just not your main, thing, because some people
Right.
really do enjoy going into a place and getting it done, like having a whole separate thing and not being in their house. So I think that's awesome that you offer both of those. I also think it's cool that you mentioned that when you first started this business, you didn't know how to do it. So if you're listening and you're like, I have this passion and I'm very interested in this, or you have a business mind, because that's what I was kind of hearing from you, is you have a very business
Yes.
mind. Just know that you can figure it out. There's nothing that you can't figure out, and you're not reinventing the wheel. And that's really the nice thing too, right? Other people have
Yes.
been doing this. You saw it being successful in other states and cities. And I think that's really cool, because it gives some reassurance that people can make it and you can still do something. It doesn't necessarily have to be like this drawn out background. I think that's a misconception that a lot of new business owners kind of get into, is I have to know everything in order to start this business.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. You definitely, I think that a lot of people, I would say that I'm one of the less known ones on social media. It's not really my my thing, I guess. Um, but I think that it almost makes it look super glamorous, and that you have to have $200,000 to open up, and a full branding plan and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, honestly, at the end of the day, it's about offering a good service, having a good product, and connecting with your clients. You don't
yes.
have to have, an extreme everything
Yeah,
looks the same and it's perfect and it's Pinterest worthy and stuff like that. Like, I mean, honestly, like,
I agree with you.
my salon doesn't look like that. Could I afford to do that? Yes. But for me,
Yeah.
it's not worth putting the money in because my clients come back regardless.
Yeah.
So,
I love that. And I feel like a lot of service-based businesses, like you said earlier, as long as you offer a really good service that people can rely on, they're going to share it. So that referral is going to be there. And so I
yes,
think like it's kind of a misconception too. Like when I teach classes, sometimes people are like, "Oh, my social media," and they're so focused on social media. And I think it's great. Don't get me wrong. I have a
right.
love-hate relationship with social media, so I'm kind of like you, but I I'm also the person that I don't necessarily have a huge, strong social media presence, but I have a thriving business. And so it's like,
Yes,
it's one of those things where it's like sometimes people don't equate them the same. And I hate that because it's like you don't have to have a huge following. You don't have to be on social media constantly in order to build a service-based business. Now, online businesses, that's a whole different story. But service-based businesses, like you're right, you just need to have a good product, you need to have good services, really tag on to that. And trust me, people will share it because they're going to be more than happy with their service and they're going to want to share it. I mean, we all are like that, right? Like, I can't
yes,
wait to share something that either worked for me or is really cool or I tried something, like that's just human nature. So I love that you said that. One of the things that I want to talk about, and this kind of blends into that, is you have your custom blended mousse. And
yes,
for water, for a while, did you have something that was called like tan face water or
yes. I
something
still
like
have
that
that
too?
as well. That's actually
Okay.
our number one selling product.
Yeah, because I
Um,
was like, I saw that for a while and I know people loved that too. Can you give a little bit, I don't know, a little bit more information to the listener about like what that has done for your business? Because obviously we're
yeah,
kind of talking about being a service-based heavy business, but a lot of businesses, they can really benefit from a strong retail and especially spray tanning. So maybe kind of go into a little bit of detail about that.
yeah, yeah. So, I offered retail. I've always offered retail from the get-go. But with that one, I started doing the mousse during lockdown. I did not get any funding from the government or anything like that during COVID. I was approved for unemployment for $0. So that was nice that they sent me a letter, which I was just like, this is so weird. Like, who
Yep.
sends a letter that
Yep.
like literally says you've been approved and then it said for zero
Uh,
dollars.
and you're like,
Um,
thank you. You could have saved the
right,
paper and a stamp.
right, exactly.
Oh,
And
a
so,
lot of business owners can
um,
feel in that one.
yes, and so I mean, I still had rent due on the salon. I still had rent on my apartment and all that kind of stuff. Could I have asked for a rental reduction? Maybe, but I guess I'm not really that type of person. Like at the end of the day, my landlord still has to pay rent. The lights are still on. So I was like, all right, I'm going to figure this out. And so a few of my clients started saying like, hey, how can we support you? And so I started looking around, working with like different companies and chemists and stuff like that. And so I think that I was always a little fearful of it because if I offered my product for you to use at home, then you don't necessarily need me. And so I'm like, well, great. Now, they're going to buy my self tanner and then they're never going to come back and stuff like that. And to be honest, that's exactly what happened. So it is what it is. But at the end of the day, that means I don't have to see that many clients. So what I did is I took the solution, I make my own solution in-house at home. I went to school for chemistry. I have a background in it. I've hired chemists to, my first solution line that I came out with was competition solution for bodybuilders. That's kind of how I got a name in the industry, I guess. I used to buy out the contracts all over um, the Midwest. We would travel there. We'd spray, 150 competitors 3 times back to back days. I mean, it was exhausting. So I had already had some chemists on retainer, I guess. So they helped me create the product. So it is my actual solution bottled. It's not like Touch a Sun Jergens or, like it
Yeah, yeah.
truly does last 7 to 10 days. So have I seen a lot of my clients that I used to see probably every 2 weeks stop coming in every 2 weeks? Absolutely. But in that, they still have to buy the product from me. But especially for people that are on a tighter budget, that are willing to learn how to do it. I mean, it's easy. Anyone can do it. There's no scent to it. It's custom blended to your exact skin tone. So I send out a questionnaire and people fill it out, and then I make it, send it to your house, or people can pick it up as well. But it just kind of like started taking off. And now I would say, I actually probably do more in online sales than just seeing clients in person. So because I've been
That's
seeing clients 5 to 6
for a
days
long
a week
time.
for 12 years, and
Yeah.
it's a lot. It's a lot on a
Yeah.
person's body.
Yes.
So
A
I knew I
lot of
couldn't
squatting.
maintain it. Yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean,
Yep.
it's
A lot of
also
squatting.
it's a it's a dirty job.
It
Like
is.
if
So
there's
I used to
one
offer
thing,
spray tanning. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's one
I used to,
if
sorry to cut you off.
yeah, no problem.
I used to offer spray
Um,
tanning for a while and I'm like, God, it's such a workout. And then there's just no way that you don't get it all over yourself all the time. Like my
it
clothes
does
ended up
not
feeling very
matter.
sticky.
Yep,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
You're just going to
everywhere.
get it everywhere.
When people, I'll offer trainings and things like
Mhm.
that, and I always kind of like to, I am, I would say I'm more of a, it's not necessarily like a pessimist, but I like people to have all the information up front
Yeah,
so
me
they know
too.
what they're getting into. I'm not one of those
Yeah.
people, like, I mean, I literally talked to people out of trainings last week.
Yeah.
Um, because
Because you're like, I want you to make the right decision that's best for you.
right, exactly. And
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
they don't have the funds to get their own space and stuff like that. And I'm like, here's what's going to happen if you're sharing it with a massage therapist. I don't care
Oh
what
man.
extraction fan. I mean, I
No,
had my
it's
rooms
just gonna
built
get
out
everywhere.
custom. Yeah,
Yeah.
like my
Yeah.
dad owns a construction company. I can get whatever I need. It's
Yeah.
everywhere.
It's just what it is.
And
It's mini particles, people.
right. It doesn't matter which extract. I've bought them all. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter which machine. Sure.
Yeah.
And like when we spray in hotel rooms and stuff like that, I mean,
Yeah. I tried
we,
doing the shower.
oh, and even there, it's everywhere.
I
Like,
know.
and you can
It gets
wipe it
all
down
over the
and it
place.
does come off, but it's
Yes,
just
of
like,
course, of course.
it's just
It's just
kind of
something else to
everywhere.
clean up. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like,
And
I
that's
don't want them to be with a massage therapist or, things like that. Then these people
yes.
get mad at you and
Yes. And it's
then you
loud
ruin
and
that
yeah.
friendship. So it's like it's not a good fit for you unless you're doing your own space or on the go.
Yes. Yeah, I love
So
that because people do need to know, especially people who are thinking about opening it. Like, so I used to offer spray tanning for a short period of time. I've been, kind of in and out of the wedding world,
yeah,
so doing a
yep.
lot of lash extensions and stuff like that. And then
Oh,
before
you're
lash
like the OG
extensions,
of lash extensions.
I am. So before lash
Yes.
extensions got regulated in 2016, I was mobile, and the only two things I offered at that time, other than the salon job I had. So when I started my business, and I started my business the same year in 2011, I just offered lash extensions and spray tanning, and then I worked inside another salon or spa. So I
Okay.
offered like full
Okay.
services as an
Yeah, I
esthetician
think
that
you
way.
came to my apartment a couple times to do my
Yes,
lashes.
yes. I know, what a
Yes.
crazy long time, right? So
Yes,
I
exactly.
I I loved being mobile, but I always think like it was such a tear down. It was such a, because I always had to clean
Yes.
everything. You got a lot of towels, you got a lot and then it's loud. There's just no way to make those machines quieter. I mean, they have quiet boxes and all the things, but
Yep.
and you get like a system, don't get me wrong, right? And like
Yes.
but I'm like you, I used to educate my clients like because a lot of spray tanning goes off of DHA and then your pH balance kind of mixes in with it. So you could do like a 7% and still get a really nice tan. It just depends on what your pH is going to do with it and all these different things. So like, but obviously we know like a 9% is the best. But so I love that you're all about the education with your clients because I do think that that's what makes the clients come back. And I love that those clients are still customers or clients of yours. Like,
Yes.
so even though they're buying the custom blended mousse or the face water, they're still in that grasp, they're still in that reach. And I always consider those still clients to me. And I love that you do too,
Yes.
because I think that's another misconception in the beauty world is like, well, this person is getting, they came to me for facials, but now they're only coming back for brow waxes and da da da. And there's all these like kind of feelings about that. And I'm like, you know what? But that's still a client. They're still coming back to you.
Right.
And I love that you have that vibe too, because it is something that people are going to recommend you still. They're still going to, obviously they're still
Yeah.
purchasing from you, so that consistency is there. And actually like that's where success in your paycheck comes from. And I'm always telling people that, because I'm always telling newbies in the industry that of like, your paycheck is going to come from your return clients,
Yeah.
your you being consistent, that's where you're going to thrive, like, so I think
Right.
that's amazing. I also think it's amazing that you customized your own solution. So you didn't just
Yes.
private label, which there's nothing wrong with private labeling, people. So if you're listening and you're trying to get into your own business, let's say, and doing this, and you're going to private label with a large company, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just she had the opportunity because she had other education and other resources to make it really customized to what she really
Right.
wanted from this product. So like, let's not, divert people, but like she just had that opportunity, and everybody's going to have different opportunities when they're starting a business or interacting with clients or, anything like that. So when you're listening, just know that like, we still love you. You're still are doing amazing. Like,
Yeah. And
so
you don't start out by doing everything. Like,
no,
I mean,
right.
your business
Right.
evolves over the years. And like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
I still do competition tans. I
Yep.
usually will only take about 10 to 20 clients for a show now.
Okay. So
Um,
you just have them client based and not show based now. Okay. That's
yes,
really cool.
because
Good for you.
I mean, the amount of work, because I'm such a
Oh, wow.
perfectionist on things, if
Yeah.
for bodybuilders, if they don't prep correctly,
Oh
it,
God. It's on you.
their tan, yeah, like, and it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, my instructions are 8 pages long for them, down
Yeah.
to the
Well,
exact date.
'cause
If you tan at 4 o'clock on
yes.
Thursday, this is the day you start exfoliating, type of thing.
Yeah. Which
But
is
a lot of people don't
amazing.
read them.
Oh, yeah.
And so
Yeah.
for me, how much I have to educate you in a phone call while you set up your
Yeah.
appointment and stuff like that, because you
It's a lot.
aren't going to read my instructions, or you're going to skim through them or not notice and things like that. It's like, it's
Yeah.
beneficial for me to do that. But then when you're spraying back to back all day long for 12 hours and then doing it for multiple days and then waking up at 3 a.m. to do hair and makeup, and you're
Yeah.
exhausted for 5 days after, and
Yeah.
it wasn't worth it. So
No, that ripple effect. Yeah. Which,
yeah.
there's a lot of other in but you had to do that to understand what that opportunity was,
Well,
right?
and
Like,
honestly, so many
so
of
I
my
love that.
client base is from those clients. So much of like my
Yeah.
mousse and self tanner come
Yep.
from my clients up in Duluth that I did
Yeah.
fitness shows back in 2013, 2014 for them. They're some of the
Yeah.
most
Which is
loyal people out
amazing.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
See, I stress
you
this
build the
all the time to my
connections.
clients too. Yeah, those connections, you just don't know where they're going to take you and how long they're going to last and who's going to hear
Yes.
about you from what connection. But I think like, the in-person meeting people, like there's something about that. Like I I talk about this all the time because obviously like online, marketing and things like that is very popular and I love online marketing in so many ways, but there's nothing like in-person marketing.
Right.
And it doesn't have to feel like a sales thing. It doesn't have to feel like, like you just doing a service and then talking about it to another person, or like somebody saw it and they asked questions, or they saw that you're there and they took your card or brochure. There's so many different ways we can touch base with people in person, and I think that the ripple effect from in-person marketing lasts much longer than sometimes the online. And I think the conversion's a lot faster. Like
Yeah.
you
And a
are going to
lot of
grab those
times,
clients. Yeah.
what people like, what I post online and things like that, people won't respond. They don't ask
Yeah.
questions, anything like that.
Yeah.
But then when they
Yep.
come in that week, they're like, that lotion you mentioned, I guess I didn't realize
Oh,
I was supposed to be. And I'm like, okay, well,
yep.
you didn't comment on the post. You didn't like all of these things, but it's like at the end of the
Yeah.
day, what translated to a sale slash educated a client
Yeah.
to have a longer lasting tan is what I post, even if I don't get
Yeah.
3,000 likes and all these comments. This is the greatest lotion ever. Like, I don't need
Because then they
that.
have a reference point. Yeah. And
Right,
also they have a
because they'll
reference
read
point.
your information
Yeah.
over and over. And
Yes.
sometimes to me, it's actually annoying to myself that I keep talking about the same thing. But
I
nobody, I mean, besides your best friends, nobody's
know.
reading the same post. Like in my head, I'm
Yes.
like, here we go, posting
Here
again.
we go.
Like,
I know.
no, I'm
I
the only
think
person
anybody
reading it
listening
that
can resonate with
obsessively.
that. I
Yeah.
know. I think
I mean,
anybody
even
listening
some
can
of my
resonate with
best
that.
friends, I'm like, you
Yeah.
posted this photo? I didn't even see it. Like,
You're like, "Wait a minute, my
so,
algorithm didn't show it to me." And that's the other thing.
right,
Our
exactly.
algorithms, I forgot what the number is, but I heard something the other day about like it's less than 20% of who you
Okay.
follow. Your algorithm will show
Okay.
you. And so if you think about that, that's really small number of people that you follow that your algorithm is like actually exposing you to. Like that's wild.
Right.
So in the what I was listening to was talking about that of like repeating yourself and how a lot of business owners they do feel like they're repeating themselves, but I'm not gonna lie, like we aren't. It might feel that way for us, but to the client, that's the first time maybe they're viewing something about yours, right? So like
Yeah,
they don't know that you
absolutely.
already posted that. And a lot of times people aren't kind of scrolling through our stories and our page as much as we think they are. Like I think
Right.
a lot of people just look at the first like posts and that's all they do.
Yep.
They don't even scroll down unless they're like super
Right.
interested, which if they are super interested, just to know if you're listening, if you're like, well, what if they do? They're probably going to turn into a customer. They're probably going to
Right.
click on the link in your bio. They're probably going, and I'm mostly speaking about Instagram right now, but like, do you know what I
Right.
mean? So like, let's get that out of our heads, people. So if you're listening and you're like, I do feel like a broken record. Don't worry about it because that the one thing I will say about it is the more you talk about something, the more you are going to be first on it if somebody does ask you in person. So that's the other thing that I
Right.
love about like kind of repeating content or repeating information that you think your client should know is you are going to have these words come off the tip of your tongue like much faster than if you don't talk about it at all or you're kind of scared to
Right.
talk about it. But in your case for spray tanning businesses, you know, like you were mentioning earlier, the pre stuff that they do before their appointment is very important. And so
Yes.
you want to stress that to your client. You want to talk about that. So that's definitely something that, you know, is a vital for you because you're like I want my
Right.
clients to have the best experience but I also want them to have the longest lasting tan and I also want them to have a
Right.
great experience when they're having that tan and enjoying that tan so I
Well, and
think
I
that
always
that's
tell
really
people you
good.
don't need everything at once.
Right.
Like, I'll
Yeah,
even almost
totally.
like discourage it because, I mean, unless you're just sitting on a pile of cash and you are looking to spend money, sure. But like, I'm like, just like when you go to your hairstylist, if you're buying professional shampoo, you don't go through a bottle every month. Like it's
Right.
concentrated. You just need a little bit.
Right.
And so if you kind of build up your supply, then you're not buying everything at once. And then it's like, oh, I need this. So it's whatever, a
Yeah.
$30 purchase versus
Yeah.
like, oh, I must invest in everything. I
Yeah.
think that can be a little overwhelming, or people are like, great, now it's not going to turn out. And I'm like,
Yeah.
it's going to be fine regardless.
Yep.
And
Yep.
if it's not in your budget, don't go out of your way to do it either. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not
So
here to like make anyone feel like they have to do something. I hate when I go to a
yeah.
place and it's like, well, you
Yeah.
better, would you like to add this? I mean, hopefully your nails still turn out. I'm like, I
You're like,
guess I
what?
better. Like,
I think
yeah,
and you're like, I wish
exactly.
I would have known that before I made the appointment. Yeah.
Right,
That's
exactly.
good
I'm
to
like,
know
I just
too.
want what
Yeah.
we need. Like,
Yes.
whatever we
And
think we need.
yeah. Well, and your service should be fully encapsulated. So, like, that
Yes.
client should know that as soon as they walk in, if they're going to come to see you or if you're going to come to see them, as soon as that appointment starts, they should be taken care of until the very end. Right. Like, and I
Yes.
think that's something about being consistent and so forth. But so maybe my next question is so, whoever's listening, let's say you are wanting to start your own spray tanning business or you're wanting to get in the spray tanning world, you know, I obviously have a list of a few things that I think are just necessary to purchase, but like you're saying, like you
Yeah.
don't necessarily need to have every single thing, doesn't need to be the most, but I just want to ask what you think is the necessary products that people should buy when they're starting a spray tanning business.
I mean, they need a good machine, not one off of Amazon. Um, I have machines that are 15 plus years old that have done 10,000 plus tans. They're still great. They're perfect. Um, the machines that, I mean, I bought a heated machine. I had some smaller ones and stuff like that. Those are the ones that have broken on me. Um, invest in a quality machine, then you're not keep on like buying new equipment all the time. Um, you need a tent if you're doing on the go and stuff like that. And then just investing in a couple like good solutions. I mean, I offer a ton, obviously, but like you don't need that many. I mean, start out with a couple and see where it goes from there. See what type of clientele do you work out? Do you have clients that work out a ton? Do you have clients that are looking for a rapid tan versus people that are fine sleeping in it? That kind of thing. And then just investing in like a good training. But also the biggest thing you can possibly do is practice. Like,
Yes, lots
I
of practicing.
also, I, my opinion's different than probably most service providers. I think with practicing, maybe you charge like, I don't know, $10 or,
Yes,
something like that.
yes.
I
Yep,
think
I'm the
it's
same
kind of
way.
weird to charge even like half price. It's like get
Yeah.
a bunch of
Just cover
people
your
back to
costs.
back. Right. And
Yeah,
then just do a bunch of them so that you
yep,
can get the experience. That's how you're going to get good.
yep. That's how you know
Plus
the different
people
angles
remember.
and yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly.
And
And
you never know
so
what those models might do too. Like sometimes those models turn into
exactly.
clients. You never know.
Yes,
And or they
absolutely.
recommended you to somebody or so it's kind of funny. I charge for models too, and a lot of times what I'll do, it just depends on what I'm charging for. So like if it's a service that I'm just kind of practicing a new product or something, then I'll charge 50% off. But if it's like a totally new service that I'm like, I am a beginner and I want to try it, I'll just usually charge for covering my product cost, because that's,
Right, right,
that's I can't avoid that. So so
right.
let's just cover it
Absolutely.
all. But I think that's really good because yeah, you are still spending time and money, people. So like don't think that you have to automatically give a whole bunch of things away for free. Yes, there's going to
Right.
be opportunities where maybe you will do some free services, but if you are in the beginning stages and you still just need to cover your costs, like don't feel bad about that. Um,
Yes.
I agree with you. The more bodies you see, the more, people you can just spray tan, like the better you're going to get at it because there is a lot of different techniques out there. Like, and there's a lot
Yes.
of ways that you can perfect certain areas and different things that you have to remember. So like, for me, I really like to fine mist. So I always turn my spray tan nozzle to like the finest mist I could. I just found that
Yeah.
my coverage and just the spray tan itself like soaked in much better for most people's skin. Obviously, like everybody's a little different with this, but if for the
Right.
most part, if people prep properly, they're going to be absorbent, but some people are not. So like it's hard, but,
Right.
and there's all sorts of different products out there to prep. And so anyway, but the whole spray tanning world is it's just like any other service that you bring in is you can buy every little thing to help you, but like she was saying earlier, just the basics really help the most. And your training and a good machine, like, and a good solution, those are the things that I would focus the most on. Like it
Yeah.
is top, yeah, because like I've had bad machines like you were mentioning earlier, just because I was like, I don't know, how am I going to know if I don't like the machine
Yeah.
until I use it? you know
Yes.
Let me make this mistake for you, people. But and what ends up happening with bad machines is they're just not reliable. They clog much faster. They're harder to clean. They sometimes just quit working.
Yeah, they'll just
So
break
yes,
down, the motor will
they'll just
blow out, like
yeah, like
it's
it's so funny. You're
and now
like,
you
dang.
lost $400.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, totally.
it's
And the other thing that I
I
would like
mean,
to mention too is like how fast you can do a tan. So like, and everybody's different, but like I used to at least do 2 coats on each client. But you can do tans pretty fast. And so if this is
yeah.
something that, you're thinking I could do while my kids are at work or at school, I mean, or I could, if you're a busy mom, let's say this is a perfect opportunity for you because you can kind of put a lot of clients in one day. You can spray
Yep.
tan many people in an hour. Let's just put it that way. So,
Yes.
um, so I love that part. Obviously, a lot of times it's very popular to do parties if that's something that you're interested in and you're mobile, especially wedding parties. It's very popular for that. You can do retail, like she was saying. Like there's so much opportunity in this world. So if you guys are interested and you're looking into it, just know that this is a very much so thriving part of the industry still. It is very popular and very popular for many different reasons. And so I think that's really
Oh
cool
yeah.
too.
There's always
And
a different event and season for things like, people are like, "Oh, are you just dead during the winter?" I'm like, No, why
No,
would I be
that's the
like
busiest.
every month is a different
Here in
if
Minnesota,
it right, if
it's busy.
you're either depressed, it's a wedding, it's
Yes,
Halloween, it's I mean
there's
family
always
photos, all
something.
those kind of things. And
Yes.
so um
Vacation, yep.
yeah, and so I
Yeah,
mean, I always recommend to people like I mean, I did quit my full-time job without really having a plan. I don't recommend
right.
doing that,
Nope, me neither.
especially if you're like the family provider or something like that.
Right.
Um, but I mean, it takes a while to build a business. It doesn't
Yes,
happen overnight.
I agree. I agree,
And
and it takes
so
a lot
I
of hard
think
work.
people get this, yeah, I think people get discouraged thinking like, oh, I should be seeing 35 clients a day and, this and that,
No.
or it reflects on who they are as a person. It's like, it has nothing to do
Mm,
with that. People just
nope.
might not know about you. They don't have the budget. I mean,
Yes.
there's so many different factors.
Yep, and you have to
So,
be just consistent. That's really what it is.
right.
Like, that consistency will show up somewhere else. So, like, if you're consistently showing up in your business, you're consistently showing up for the service, you're consistently showing up for your clients, like over time, that will give you that return. Like you will get those
Yes.
clients because they're like, "Oh, you're still in business. Oh, I'm so happy I found you." Or, "Oh, I've been keeping this flyer
Yep.
for a year." Or I've heard so many different things over the years from clients that you just don't know how long they are gonna keep your name until all of a sudden they show up. And so I do think like, yeah, it's a slow build, but I will say like it does build. You
Yes.
just got to keep at it because the one thing I think is different about business, especially specifically business building, is there's a lot of businesses out there and there's a lot of people that start businesses, but most of them fail. And I feel like that's kind of sad to say that out loud because I don't want to discourage
Yeah.
people. But what that really means is like if you're consistently sticking around and coming back and doing it more and trying different marketing things and like going, you are going to beat out all those people that are just like, I'm just going to go back to whatever I was doing before. And
Right.
and so there is some of that, and then some of it's just like, yeah, learning and keep on doing, and then learning and keep on doing, and it'll eventually just happen. And so that's really the cool thing about it. But make it unique to you. Like you've made
Right.
your business very unique to yourself, and I think that's amazing too. And that's probably one of the biggest perks about having a business is you can make it exactly how you want to. Like,
Right.
you
And I
can do
mean,
everything
actually, like,
custom.
being interested in your clients. I mean, I've seen
Yes,
clients through,
yes,
I mean, I just went to a client's wedding. I had been tanning her
yeah.
since she was a freshman in college. I think she's
Oh,
28 now. I,
I love it.
I've known every guy she's ever dated type of
Yeah,
thing. So
yeah,
like it's
totally.
like I
I
mean
love
I'm
that.
not even a crier and I was like tearing up at the wedding because I was just like,
Yeah,
wow, this is like so amazing. Like she would tan
yes,
with me weekly and it's like to see how much she's grown, also how much I've grown. Like you build
yes.
lifelong my best
Oh
friends I
gosh,
met
yeah.
as clients.
Yep,
So,
yeah,
um, like
yeah,
you build real relationships, you have different
yes.
connections. Like I
Yep.
met my mortgage broker because I did a bachelor party
I know, isn't that crazy?
and
I know.
like
It's wild.
the first thing that I remember when I was looking at buying a house, I was like, that guy, he said he was in mortgage. I should call him.
Yeah.
And,
Isn't that
like you
crazy?
never know where you're going to meet people,
But see,
what
that's what their
connections.
business. Yes.
Exactly. And I think
See, it's
that
full
like a lot
circle.
of businesses, yeah, like a lot of businesses, what in my opinion do wrong is they do too many things.
Yeah.
So
And
they're
you don't keep your metrics. You have to keep your
right.
metrics of what's working, and keep touching base on those things cuz it's okay to do many things. Like I sometimes tell people like 3 to 5 ways to market sometimes is normal for a business. But you
Yes.
have to keep metrics of all those things because then you can know, okay, I really want to focus my efforts, time, money on this cuz this is giving me the
Yep.
best return, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And like just,
Yeah.
I want when people think of spray tanning, I want them to think, oh, Elsie, Cat Salon MN.
Yes.
Like
You're the first person
I
that
don't
comes to my
want them
mind.
to, right. I mean, I think of like even in that some of those Facebook groups when someone's
Yep.
like, hey, who do I need for
Yep.
lashes? I always recommend
Yep.
you.
Yep.
That is who I've known for lashes for over a decade. Like
Yep.
people are
Yep.
known for specific things and like I want to be known for that versus
Yeah.
like there's people that do 15 services and you're like, I actually have no idea what you do. Like,
Yeah. And I have a
um,
whole class about that of like narrowing it down because, eventually in your career, you will narrow down your passion. Cause like you were saying
yes,
earlier, it has to come from a passionate place. Like you have to be passionate about the outcome. You have to be passionate about like the physical, what you're doing. Like,
yes,
because if you don't come from that passionate place, people are going to see it. It's not going to last long. You're going to get burnt out much faster. So yeah,
yes,
but eventually in your career, you will come to those points where you're like, I really enjoyed this. Like,
yes,
okay, I think I'm going to go for it on this. So if you're listening and you're kind of like toying around with like a lot of things, and because it's easy to do in the beauty industry specifically, like there's so many services, so many things we learn in school, like so many things that are flown at you every day on social media. Like, and so it can be really challenging when you're first starting off in your career and you're like, I don't know, I love this. I kind of want to do that.
yeah,
Or you work for a salon and spa that forces you to do a lot of services, and which is fine. That's part of what they're
right,
doing in business. But you have a hard time. But there's eventually, it's going to be a day or a time where you're going to click with certain things, or you're going to really enjoy this, or you're going to notice that you light up when you have a person that books in for that. And so pay attention to those things, people, because those, like she was saying earlier, like that is where you're going to build your business or build a career. And let's say you don't want to start a business, that's fine too, but like that's where it's going to really happen, is those specific services. Because yes, when people come to, you know sharing your name online, or sharing it in a group, or sharing it in person, or whatever, you are going to be known for that, because the people are like,
right,
oh, they've been consistently showing up with this, and like that's what I know them for. So that is
right.
amazing. I love it. And I think that's exactly how businesses grow. And I think that's exactly where, like, if people are talking about the secret to building a business, which I think is kind of funny, that's it, people.
Yep. It's just
That's
consistently showing up, just like pretty much everything else in life. But
Yes. Well, you had mentioned that you sometimes offer training. Now, if somebody's listening, do you still offer training? Is this something that
yeah,
you're thinking?
it
Okay.
just kind of depends on my availability and stuff like that,
Okay.
how in depth they're looking. But
Okay.
yeah, I definitely offer training.
Okay.
I do sell my solutions. I've
Okay.
got a few salons in Minnesota that
Okay.
offer them. I actually let them just private label it, so they say it's their
Okay.
stuff.
That's awesome.
So unless they
You have
wanted
a lot of
me
options.
to, right. But also I will then, if someone's like, oh, I need a salon up in St. Cloud, I have someone to refer them to.
Yeah. Which is so
So
nice.
yeah, that, and then also I'm hoping to have my like mousse and stuff like that available for private label by the end of this year for
Okay.
service providers. So I mean, they can use my label if they want, I don't care, or
Right.
they can just
Right.
call it their own.
Yeah,
So,
which is amazing. So if you're
yeah,
listening, you guys, so everything will be in the show notes. So I'll put all of her links that she has for everything that you've been listening to in the show notes. So if you're
yeah.
wondering, where can I purchase? I'm interested. Is your training in person, or is it online, or both? How do you
I
how do
do
you normally
both.
offer?
I do both. So
Okay.
I can do
So if you're
business.
outside of Minnesota,
Yeah,
perfect.
like I do like business consulting, and with that it's kind of like, what do you want to know? Like, I mean,
Yeah,
I'll give you
perfect. Yes.
all of it.
No.
I'm not one of those people that's like, this is the package and you're going to get like a
Yeah.
cookie cutter. Like, this is what you
No.
want to learn? This is what I'll teach you. Or in
Everybody's
person, I mean,
unique.
I'm happy. Yeah, happy to teach
Yeah.
techniques and stuff like that. Um,
Yep.
with that, I do recommend that they, just get a bunch of models and we
Yeah.
just do a bunch of back to back tans. I think
Yep.
it's the fastest way to do it.
Yep. Me
And
too.
so we can really see the technique then.
Yep. You can
And
start
everything
feeling that
takes time.
product, people.
Right, exactly. And then also, like, if it's not for you or you need to take a little break, I think that's one thing I've kind of learned this year is like, it's okay to like not work 24/7. Like,
Yep. Take some
it's
time for
okay to just
you.
take a step back and, like,
Yeah.
just relax
Working
a
in the
little
service
bit.
industry. Yeah. Working in the service industry is tough. Well,
Yeah.
I thank you so much for being on today, Elsie. I
Yes,
think anybody that's
absolutely.
listening, they're interested in the spray tanning world. You have given them so much information. So,
Thank you. Thank
yay.
you. Well, thanks for having me on. I so appreciate it.
Yes, of course. And of course, listeners, thank you for listening. I hope you liked that episode and found something useful or a tip that you can use immediately. If you are wanting more marketing tips, business tips, or anything like that, I have a lot of resources on my website. So I have PDFs that you can download for free. So look in your show notes. There should be a link in the show notes that you can click on and it'll take you right to my coaching website. And thanks for listening.